Welcome to Porch Conversations, where the conversation is going and the light is still on. Hi, you guys. So, today is the day that I want to talk about chivalry, communication, and reciprocation. It's been a good long while since I've talked about dating, and as usual, I've got my handy dandy notebook. I will be referencing this. But the first thing that I wanted to talk about, especially as it pertains to communication, because that's the very first thing that we have to get into, is closed mouths don't get fed. However, I am somebody that says what I mean and mean what I say, and often, especially when people are communicating or talking or whatever, a lot of things are not said. So you have to pay attention to what's not being said as well. And with that, because either you are saying what you want to say or things are not being said, we're expecting a certain outcome, but we're not getting that because person A is saying, I want this, that, and the third, and person B is just expecting that either they're not going to want those things anymore or those things are going to happen by osmosis. Maybe, oh, I'll get my money up when, we'll do it when. We'll do these things when and that's not how dating works. So, first of all, I want to talk about, obviously, at the top, I said that this episode is about three different things. It's about reciprocation, it's about communication and chivalry, and whether or not it's dead. And personally, I don't think that it is. I think that when it comes to illustrating what it is that you want, illustrating what it is that what you want and what you need. Illustration is a good word because it's almost as if we have this picture in our head of what it is that we want, what it is that we desire, what it is that we are deserving of. And if we do not articulate those things to someone, we get upset when they start coloring out of the lines of the picture that we have in our mind of what it is that we want and that we are deserving of and what we are wanting. So when it comes to communication styles, I'm going to put a little communication styles. There are several, but the first thing is that I want to say is that you cannot get what you don't define. Let me repeat that. You cannot get what you don't define. You can't give effectively if you also don't know what that person is wanting. So just like I said in the beginning, if person A is saying, I want to go on dates, I want to go to a museum, I want to go skydiving, and person B is not doing any of those things simply because when I get my money up or when this, that, and the third, there's a mismatch, you feel me? But also it could be a situation of maybe that person doesn't feel adequate to reach those expectations that person A is expecting. But from what I've experienced when it comes to dating, like I said, it's very much a situation of, well, I'm comfortable here. Maybe they'll just not want those things anymore. And a lot of times when people are in situations where they like someone, their wants and desires sort of get put on the back burner because they're happy, they're comfortable. And that should never be the case. Don't get too comfortable. Anyway, when it comes to communication styles, there are several, but I think something that needs to be put into consideration is also your different type of love languages. Those things mesh with one another. So when it comes to different love languages, there's words of affirmation, and I'm going to try my best to detail each thing that comes with each love language, because I feel like people are just like, oh, my love language is physical touch, and it's not that. It's not just I'm gonna touch on somebody just because I can. Physical touch is literally like, it doesn't have to be sexual. It can be intimate, where it's, oh, you're touching your person's head while they're driving, or you're holding their hands, or you put your hand on their knees. It's something simple like that, where physical touch is showing how close you are and how much you desire to actually be with that person outside of just having sex with them. Words of affirmation. So this is reassurance. And me being a writer, but also just someone that says what I mean and mean what I say, and I pay attention to what's not being said, I often need reassurance. This is verbal expression and compliments. Both of these things are unprompted. So this is a situation of, babe, you look good today. Damn. do a little spin real quick for me. Doing that unprompted. Not, baby, do you think I look good? And then, well, yeah, your ass looks fat. No, I need you to go out of your way to say, like, I need you to get down on your knees and say, God damn it, I ain't never seen you look this good before. Let's go out. We need to go out right now. You know what I mean? She could be wearing sweatpants, but it's like, you feel me? You got to make your person feel good because you want to, not because they asked you to. Acts of service. So this is, I'm gonna fill up the gas tank because I know you have to go to work in the morning, and I know you're gonna be extra tired when you wake up, so I'm gonna do that. So that's one less thing that you have to do. I'm gonna do the dishes so that when you come home tonight, there's nothing else that you have to do but walk in this house and take off your shoes. You feel me? I'm going to fold the clothes tonight because I know that you hate doing that, and that's the one thing that I will do because I love you. You feel me? It's doing things to be considerate of that person and to be considerate of your relationship, and to just understand, like, hey, it's okay for you to do things that you're not being asked. It's okay to do things that you just want to, simply because you know it's going to better your relationship, simply because you know that it's going to help your relationship move forward and progress. Now, there's also receiving gifts, and that is not necessarily as materialistic as people make it out to be. I am someone that likes to give gifts. I do like to receive gifts as well, but I don't want to just get a fucking purse, although a new purse would be nice, but you know what I mean? Like, I'm the type of person where if I'm going to give you something, it's going to be handmade. It's going to be something that was like thought through and actually like effort and time was put into it. I didn't just pick it up from the store because I had an opportunity to. You feel me? So then there's also quality time. And again, this can be split into two different categories. So there are people that like to body double, and I am someone that does that as well. Now, with quality time, this is quite literally spending time with one another in an effort to spend time, like quality time, not just sitting next to each other watching TV. Like, you guys are actually engaging and interacting with one another. But like I said, there are people that body double. So I could be over here writing, doing whatever I'm doing, and you're playing video games, or vice versa, and that feels good to me. If we're in a long distance relationship, I want to be able to FaceTime with you while you're running errands, because that's the closest thing that I'm going to get to being in a relationship, to being close to you, to being able to spend quality time with you outside of actually being next to you. Phone calls are good for that too. I love a good phone call. You out running errands, I'm in your conversations with the other people that you in front of right now. So, and then when it comes to communication styles, so there's passive aggressive, and assertive. I'm going to say real quick, I know for a fact I am assertive. I say what I mean, and I mean what I say. That's probably my third time saying it in this episode alone. But if I need something, I'm going to say what that is directly. I'm not going to pussyfoot around it. I'm not going to hope that you understand what it is that I need. I'm going to say exactly that, because there's no chance of me getting my feelings hurt or having any expectations of something if I didn't tell you exactly what it is that I wanted. You cannot get what you don't define. Oh, okay. So when it comes to passive communication, this is, you're not really saying much of anything. It's sort of just like, yeah, you're, how do you say it? It's, you're just kind of along for the ride type shit. Aggressive, this is you saying how you feel, what you want, how you need it at the expense of your partner. Passive aggressive is, I'm fine, when you know damn well you're not fine, or when your partner says they're fine and you know they're not fine, and they're wanting you to dig a little deeper. How about we use our vocal cords? How about we grow up a little bit? I'll take it back. Being that I'm assertive and I say what I mean, and I mean what I say, and I say what I need, I don't have a problem with being assertive, but I understand that a lot of people, especially because of the way that they grew up, it makes it really hard for you to be honest about what it is that you're wanting, what it is that you're needing, how you're going to get those things, especially if you were direct in the past and that hindered you in one way or another, or it caused friction within a relationship. I understand. But ultimately, when it comes to being in a relationship, there is compromise. And communication is key. If you have issues like that, that's something that you need to say up front. Hey, I don't really feel comfortable saying directly what it is that I need. Maybe I could use a questionnaire. Like, I need you to be a little bit interactive when you can see that I'm faltering on what it is that I need or how it is that I'm trying to articulate something that I want, because I've been through things. And it's okay. We've all been through things. I get on a rant sometimes. Reciprocation is really important as well. Reciprocation. Reciprocation is really important as well. And I think that that is something that is really is specific to the person. You know how I said in the very first episode how when you first meet someone and you guys immediately lock in, no one else can say that that is wrong or that it's right except the two of you. Only the two of you can determine what makes sense for you in those moments. You feel me? So when it comes to reciprocation, when it comes to giving and the capacity that you have, again, that's a conversation that you need to have in the beginning. All of these things require conversations. All of these things require communication, direct communication. And that's hard. A lot of the times these conversations are uncomfortable to have. But what's worth having isn't always easy. You feel me? That said, like, I hope that this is making sense. Like, if you guys could just comment really quick, just let me know that, like, I'm on the right path. Like, you guys are understanding, you guys are picking up what I'm putting down. When it comes to chivalry, and we're still talking about communication, but these communication and reciprocation, your capacity matters, friends. And that's something that you have to be honest with yourself about. I just recently dealt with someone that told a story about what they were able to do, what they were capable of doing. And it was very much like the boy who cried wolf. Like, if you can't pay rent, then say that, babe. If you can't pay rent, then say that. It's not a situation of, I'm just hoping it's gonna happen. That nigga was very much passive aggressive. Just passive altogether. And that's something that you have to determine when you first meet someone. What are your communication styles matching? Are your love languages integrating? Because you don't have to both have quality time and physical touch as your love languages. I could have quality time and physical touch as my love language, but my person could have acts of service and receiving gifts, and that works for me. Like, it's windy as fuck right now. I hope you guys can still hear me. But again, that's something else that needs to be communicated, because everybody has different capacities. So my love languages, my communication styles are not always going to mesh with the next person that I meet. And you don't always find that out by being able to define these things. That's why this video is available. That's why Google is available. You can always do some research on your own, but that takes work and effort, and not everybody is willing to do that. Sometimes they just want to sit and be told about it, and that's fine. I don't mind talking. But you remember, did I tell you guys this? I think in the past I've said, like, an apology, a true apology is changed behavior. So there are definitely different apology styles, but what we're going to talk about is apology trajectory instead of apology styles, because fuck all that. I don't think that that's real. I don't think that those are real in the same way that communication styles and love languages are, because when it comes to truly apologizing about something, you express regret. I'm sorry that I hurt you. Period. End of sentence. There's no I'm sorry I hurt you, but I'm sorry I hurt you, and I'm sorry I hurt you. Period. Now we move on to the next sentence. Accept responsibility. I was wrong. Period. End of sentence. We move on to the next. The only reason there should be a comma is if you are saying I was wrong by doing this. I was wrong and I intend to make it right, which moves on into the next sentence. Make restitution, repair through action, because the only true apology is what? Change behavior, right? Genuinely repent, express intent to fix. So it's not just, oh baby, I'm sorry, I'm gonna fix it. No, how do you intend on fixing it? What do you intend on doing differently that you just did to fuck things up, that you have to apologize in such a way? And then request forgiveness. Do you accept my apology? Because for real, you could have that conversation with someone and they don't have to forgive you. That is not standard to an apology. And I don't think that people understand that. I love you and I'm sorry do not absolve you of the responsibility of the thing that you just did, of the consequences of the thing that you just did. So, just something to think about. When it comes to chivalry, you guys, I personally don't think that it's dead. I really don't. And this is what I'm talking about. I have come in contact with men that were willing to open up my door and make sure that I was on the inside of the street and open up every door that I walked through. You feel me? Filled my gas tank. You feel me? Like, and actually, next episode that we're talking about love and relationships and things, we're going to be talking about the women equivalent of chivalry. And I've had a conversation with someone about this one day, and this conversation went so fucking left. But basically, I was asking them, like, what do you think the women equivalent of chivalry is? And he was like, oh, like cooking a homemade meal. And I'm like, nigga, are you bugging the fuck out? Like, are you good? What do you mean? A home cooked meal is an equivalent to a nigga opening my door? I'm buying the ingredients. I'm cooking the meal. I'm serving the plates. That's much more time and effort than you would put into opening a fucking car door. And my thing is, his justification was, if I open up a door, she's gonna think that I like her. No, sir, you're being a gentleman. That's quite literally what chivalry is. Like, I don't know, that completely threw me. I didn't understand. So I'm still thinking, excuse me, excuse me, I'm still thinking about what my list is, and I'd like to compile it so I'm not just like throwing random shit at you guys. But I really do think that there are women equivalents to chivalry that don't equate to cooking a full course meal. Like, yeah, I want to think about that, and I want to put like actual dedicated time into coming up with the list compared to standing on the inside of the street, opening doors, you know what I mean, like doing shit like that, compared to what a woman would do. Because I don't want to come to you guys with bullshit. So anyway, I want to add this part on about chivalry, because this is definitely a gap in our generation. It's something that a lot of people weren't taught. So that's something that needs to be understood. Some were taught it, and then some unlearned it because they thought that it was childish or female, and that's not the way that it's supposed to be. Some of it just never had it modeled for them. And when it's not happening, that doesn't mean that it's disrespect. It just means that it's a gap in awareness or language. And in the same way that you have to communicate, hey, this is my love language, these are my apology languages. If it matters to you, you have to say so. Some people don't care about their door being open for them. Some people don't care about being on the inside of the street. But like, some people have what's the word? Boundaries. Some people have standards. Everyone should have standards, but what my standards are not your standards. And again, that is a conversation that needs to be had. There are so many different conversations that need to be had, and I promise you a lot of them are hard to have. But if it's worth it to you to make this relationship work, you're going to talk about it, aren't you? Oh, okay. I just wanted to put that in there. Let's do a little recap, because I think that is necessary. Altogether, as I said at the top, closed mouths don't get fed. There's no way that you can expect something from someone, but one, you don't say what it is that you want, or you say what it is that you want and you don't follow up on it. But also, that's something to consider. That's something to keep in mind. If you don't get a response on that first request, they may not have the capability for it. And that's okay. That person's just not your person. Sometimes when it comes to having the capacity for something, I think that it is something that you can train for. I think that it is something that you can put the effort into. But that has to be, you have to be a self-starter. That is not something that you can be forced into doing. And I say that with full experience. I've been in several situations where, and not to toot my own fucking horn, but I know what the fuck I bring to a relationship. So when I say these niggas fell short, what I saw in my head that they had going for them is not what they rose to. Very much it was, I saw this and they were here. So, and that's a them issue. You can't make nobody do nothing. And so that's your cue to walk away. That's it. Anyway, this has been Porch Conversations. I love you guys. Yo, hold up real quick, because y'all gave me mad love with that last video, my Lord of the Rings video. I love you guys so much. Thank you guys so much for doing that. That means so much to me. Okay, so I know that, like I said, I usually say like see you next week or some shit like that. I need you guys to be so patient with me, because I just published my book. I have expanded my business in such a way that, like, I had an event last week and I have an event this week and I have an event the weekend after that. Like, I'm doing so many different things that, like, it's just me, you guys. It's just me. So, you know, please bear with me. I'm making these episodes as quickly and as frequently as I can. But if you stick with me, I promise you, we gonna make it big. We gonna be somewhere. We gonna be somebody. You feel me? That's what this multi-dimensional creative is trying to get at. I got lots of hands in different hats, but it's just, I've only got the one head. You feel me? But I did just get an assistant. So anyway, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. This has been Porch Conversations, where the light is on and the conversation is still going. I love you guys. I'll see you later.